Welcome back, presenters, and today's topic is how to create killer content. And our best tool for helping you do that is the storyboard.
Taken straight from Hollywood, this process helps screenwriters with their structure and their flow. Now, if you haven't already printed out your storyboard, please print the template out now.
All right, so can we get on our soapbox just for a moment?
Up on my soapbox.
All right. And explain why we put so much emphasis on the storyboard.
Well, we want to start with the fact that your content should be in the driver's seat.
That's right. So, while we're at it, what goes in the passenger seat?
Well, in the passenger seat should be your display deck, your outfit, and any technology you need.
Yeah, how about the back seat?
Well, those would be the bells and whistles of your presentation, animation, video clips, color schemes.
Yep. And then, what about the trunk?
Well, in the trunk should be all your research, your subject matter, and those bullet points that will never see the light of day.
That's right. So, all this pain and suffering will be worth it, right?
It is worth it because organizing your thoughts and developing creative ideas is really hard. And so many speakers work around this by organizing things in their head, and it just doesn't work.
That's right. And that's why we love this Abraham Lincoln quote so much. If I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 sharpening the axe.
You're here. We advise you to resist the urge to open PowerPoint and start typing bulleted lists until all your thoughts and ideas are in one document. This is the worst thing to do. I love her. Worst thing you can do. Not only does content get confused with your visual display, but it's just a big waste of time that would have been better spent organizing your sock drawer, which mine could use organizing right now. So listen to our mantra. Stop the madness. Step away from the keyboard.
Oh, that's right. So think of iconic movies like Jaws and Titanic and Apollo 13. They started on paper, and we're here to ensure that you do as well. Now, we have to warn you, though, it's not easy. Brain cramp could be in your future just for a little bit. We know it takes time and effort, but when all is said and done, you'll be so glad you did it.
And here's just an excellent example from United Track Chair Miranda Signa. She said a few years ago, the storyboard template totally streamlined how I approach organization for my presentations. It seems silly that I haven't always done this, and from now on, it will be my new approach. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So we urge you now to grab a pencil, and we're going to get to work. Keep in mind, Barbara and I won't be pausing at any point in this tutorial, but we encourage you to use this time effectively if stop the recording along the way to think and to write.
That's right. The key is to start at the end. Yes, we mean the conclusion. Yes, we know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's very helpful because you're going to make better decisions about your introduction and your key messages if you start on the left of the board. We've highlighted the key questions you need to answer right now.
Yeah, and what is your call to action to your audience? Hopefully you wrote this down when you completed the first module with audience analysis and when you condensed your main message into 10 words.
And then what's your killer final sentence? The one that will linger in the minds of your audience. Well, let's use an example from last year, Daryl's presentation.
Yeah, we talked about it in Module 1, and his call to action at the end of his infiltration of everybody's devices was, even though you think you're an elite person in the security industry, IoT has reached beyond your wildest imagination.
Yeah, great example.
Now we're going to move on to the middle of the storyboard to focus on your key messages. We made space for no more than 3, and sometimes you can have fewer, but the point being that if you have too many key messages, you will exceed the limit of anybody's brain's working memory.
Yeah.
And when that happens, the brain and everybody in the audience yells, "Stop, I can't take it anymore."
Yeah, exactly. So now you need to support those key messages. And we suggest coming up with a statistic, an anecdote, an example, a story, which of course we'll get to later, and a quotation for each of those points, even though you're not likely to incorporate them all into your final presentation.
Yeah, it's a great way to get all the ideas on this storyboard, and then you'll pick and choose as we continue to work together. And at this point in this effort to outline your story is you want to write your introduction. And this is perhaps the most important part of your entire presentation. And why do we say that, Barbara?
Well, because the prime time clock is ticking, which means that a speaker only has a small window of time to capture the attention of the audience.
Right, and we're going to talk a lot more about the prime time clock in our deck design module as well, but right now, because it's so important, we're going to show you effective ways to create a killer introduction.
That's right, and it's called the inciting incident. And a great resource is a book called Moving Mountains by Henry Bettinger. And here's a great quote from the book, which we love. If the attention of the audience is not engaged early, you will often see them display signs of fidgeting, compulsion to flee, anger, hostility, daydreaming, and microscopic fingernail inspection. Yeah. Energy refuses to be bottled up by
I don't know what's worse.
By delay.
Seeing an audience member doing that or being in the audience when you're the one doing that. I think my microscopic fingernail inspection is mine.
Yeah. All right, so here are a few examples or options even, for creating that inciting incident. So make sure you have a pen and paper because you're going to want to choose which of these works best for you. We'll start with the gathering storm. And this involves listing several problems or concerns which, taken together, create a sense of anxiety that your audience now wants you to relieve.
Yeah, one example might be here for the opioid epidemic, which is radiating to all corners of society, regardless of person, place, class, anything.
Next is the concept of unpleasant future, and that's pointing out how bad things will be if we don't take action.
For example, if nothing is done about climate change, will portions of our globe be uninhabitable? It sure looks like we're heading that way.
I know. Woo. Yeah, dare is designed to entice your audience to meet a difficult or challenging goal.
One CEO we worked with challenged his team to be the first to market with a new and cost-effective cure for hepatitis C. What was the price situation?
I think the first pill was like $15,000 or something.
Yeah. Drove that way down.
Right. Now, the great dream, and that's painting a picture of an ideal future that instills a strong desire to make it happen.
I can relate to that. What if going to college was affordable and available to every high school senior and not a privilege that bankrupt students and their families? Can I say that again?
I think you'd get a full house for that
one. I have twins going right now.
All right, and then finally we have new information, which lets your audience know what they thought was true is either not true or no longer true, or that your new information is going to change how we currently do business.
I'm so excited because the neuroscience of storytelling really has changed business presentations permanently and for the better.
Yeah.
And ironically, we're going to be talking about this in the very next module.
Yeah. Now, there are many ways to make your introduction sticky and vivid and attention-grabbing. Take a risk with your introduction so that it's more than just previewing your main points. Your audience really does want to be engaged, and they happen to be busy and easily distracted.
As we all know, because we are all audience members as well. So now you're ready to fill in your storyboard if you haven't been pausing and doing it all along. You want to take at least 20 minutes right now to work on it. And the most effective ones we've seen, like this one from Miranda, were crammed with words and cross-outs, circles, arrows. It's great. Some clients rewrite their boards on a clean sheet. So we suggest that you print out at least 2 or 3 copies for your 2.0 and 3.0 iterations.
Now we've reached the end of the most important module, and maximizing your time here will really pay off later.
Yeah, it will definitely make your deck design easier and your delivery much better. So please do the hard work now.
Yeah. Next up is, we promised, a module on storytelling. And that's how to build connection and to enhance your influence with your audience.
Absolutely. You're going to love it, and we will see you soon.